Adventures in being an admin. Always fun. So, a while back, I had an article that used to be on Hub Pages, and it was one of two where I explore a different ending for Sailor Moon Supers, and basically it's centered around what would happen if, going back to Sailor Moon R, after Chibiusa was all done with being Black Lady, or Wicked Lady if you guys remember the Deke dub, if she just never, ever went back to that child form, how different could the show be? How different would her personality be? And could that extend to Helios, Pearl, or Peru, whichever version you want, they're both accurate, or the Amazonas Quartet? And the reason why I did this article is because even as a kid, I felt like it was unfair. Chibiusa is over 900 years old. She is legally an adult. But because her powers are stunted, which she picked up from her dad, she's stunted in this little kid body, but she's not a child. And then we find out in the Dream Arc and Supers, Helios is kind of in a similar situation. He was kidnapped around the time of the Silver Millennium and held in, if you watch Supers, a really creepy, disgusting Epstein Island kind of cage. Or if you watch Eternal or read the manga, a bird cage, because now Helena has a sense of humor, I guess. And then the Amazonas Quartet were kidnapped not too far behind him. And while they've been stuck working with the Black Moon, they've been trapped in little kid bodies. But again, like Chibiusa, they should be adults by now. So I wanted to do this article for fun, explore how much better things would be if they were all adults. And explore, even if she was just in a teenager form, how different would her relationship be with Usagi and Mamoru? Instead of having her creepily and disgustingly have a crush on her dad, which I've always hated, have her have more I don't want to say sisterly, but more like a bond with her mom. Maybe they could have more fun together too. I mean, we always get merchandise where Usagi and Chibiusa and the other team, they're all going out shopping, right? Well, wouldn't it be more fun if Chibiusa wasn't so little, if they could go to the same stores, maybe get their hair done at the same time? Yeah, I went full girl mode for this. But anywho, the article was just a big, wonderful what if of what if everybody was an adult and what if everybody could just, have more freedom, because with adulthood comes a lot of freedom, which is why I never understood why people romanticize childhood so much. I buy more toys as an adult than I ever did as a kid. Quick side note here, since an appropriate number of you have asked, and that made me very happy because you guys asked the correct question. The main reason why I'm okay with this specific ship is because, chronologically speaking, we're looking at consenting adults. Chibiusa is one of the oldest characters at 902 years old at the start of the Dream Arc. Helios is not very much older than her. So, physically, there's a 3-year age gap, and then chronologically speaking, they're consenting adults. They're old enough to rent a car, they're old enough to buy property without having to have a co-signer. They're old enough to drink, they're old enough to join the army, so I don't have anything really outlandish to say about this couple. It's a lot easier to defend consenting adult couples than, let's say, Season 1 Sailor Moon with Tuxedo Mask. So, yeah, that's why I don't really say anything about this particular ship, because they're consenting adults, and I know it's a low bar to cross, but when it comes to anime, cross it we must. This is the one thing that I have. Please be consenting adults who are not related to each other. So there you go. I really wish everybody was just an adult. So I shared the article in a couple of Sailor Moon groups, including my own. And yeah, the first comment I got, I'm not going to say I was a fan of. I really don't want to see Violator Clown first thing in the morning, especially where I coincidentally had watched the Spawn cartoon the night before, but notwithstanding, at least it's a response that I expect. As inappropriate as it is, this person only wants adult-aged characters. You've already met my criteria, so I can bitch about it or I can let this go. I'm choosing to let it go because you only feel that way towards adult-aged characters in adult bodies. I have nothing negative to say. It was the other comment that kind of got me. I got a comment that said, "Oh, I guess Tuxedo Mask really better protect her if that happens." Time out. So let me get this right. You want to tell me that all the times his daughter is, like, stalked and harassed by Wise Man's group, he doesn't need to protect her. The giant monsters and aliens that have tried to kill her, doesn't need to protect her from that. Her best friend, who is possessed by a demon character from another universe who actually did kill her, didn't need to do anything for that. No, we don't need Tuxedo Dad for those moments. But the instant she is a consenting adult in a consenting adult body with other consenting adults who might take interest in her who happen to be male, that's the point where you want Tuxedo Mask to step in and be dad and protect her? Really? So I showed this to my mom. I already had a migraine, and this made sure I was taking that Tylenol. I showed it to my mom before I responded, and my mom was puzzled. She was like, but doesn't Chibiusa already have, like, her own Thwapu stick? And her own crystal? And her own powers, in fact, more powers than her dad, even in the 90s anime when they made her a joke character? And I was like, good on you, Mom, for remembering. Yes, Chibiusa has her own arsenal, and, you know, if I'm going to play devil's advocate, I'm going to throw in the manga, too. She also has versions of her mother's wands. Even in the newest art, her parallel self has a version of her mother's moonstick, which is passed down from Queen Serenity. So yeah, she's got her own powers, plus she can access whatever her mom's got going on whenever she wants. And my mom was like, okay, so why exactly would Tuxedo Mask need to protect her if she's already got that, plus a gun and Luna P? And then she was like, you know, what even are his powers? And I was like, well, if we're going to go with Crystal and with the manga, he does have his own powers. They're just a little stunted, but they're there. They're there. I appreciate that. And she's like, right, but in the 90s anime, what does he got? He throws roses. And I was like, no, he also has a pole that extends. And she's like, I know, that's why she has a little sister. But she was really confused. She was like, why would he need to step in at all if she's already a good enough warrior she can protect herself? That just kind of bugs me. And this is not the only comment I've gotten like that. There are so many dudes who want Tuxedo Mask to protect her from the guys, but only after she's got, like, a Black Lady body or a Princess Lady Serenity body. But when she's little and dealing with actual threats, he doesn't have to do anything. She needs to fend for herself and not be so weak. This is the mentality that I've been noticing a whole lot, and it is beyond toxic. It's enough to think she's only worth protecting if she's in a consenting adult body and wants to have consensual relationships with men her own age. But if she's a little girl talking to a Pegasus in the middle of the night, no, she's not worth protecting. If she's fighting monsters, aliens, stalkers, creepy people in general, and she's in the little girl body, no, we don't have to protect her. It's only when she's old enough physically to make decisions by herself that the big, strong man needs to come in and protect her. This is such a bizarre, fucked up situation. I don't even know where to go with this. I've been a Sailor Moon fan since 1995. I've been on the internet since 1996 when I was about to turn 10. Probably should not have been on the internet that young. But I've seen stuff that was misogynistic and pig-headed before, but most of that stuff has gone away. It's gone bye-byes. This is still a thing we are still seeing in 2026. Considerably into the future now, way past when I started liking this show, and we still have to put up with this. Why does Tuxedo Mask only need to protect his daughter if she's an adult and about to enter consensual relationship territories with adult men? I mean, I've even seen dudes say that they wouldn't even have protected her if she felt the same way about Hotaru. So I guess it's okay if she wants to go after 12-year-old Hotaru. No, she should not, because Hotaru's 12. But if it was 12-year-old Hotaru, that would be fine. If it was parallel Chibiusa with you look 15 but you're actually 28 Hotaru, that's also considered okay in their book. But if we're talking adult Chibiusa and adult Helios, they might have a problem. But little kid Chibiusa and Helios wasn't a problem. Little kid Chibiusa and Pegasus and Pearl, not problems. Just adult Chibiusa. Some of them, they also stan, I notice a lot of them stan rapey Prince Demande with 14-year-old Mommy Dearest back here, and they think that's okay. But again, consenting adult Chibiusa with consenting adult Helios, they might have issues with. Have I explained what's wrong with humanity yet? Because it's not isolated to just America, it's a worldwide problem. Did I explain what is wrong with us? Did I explain how we can fix this with a hammer? I did. Awesome sauce. Then my job here is done. Good day.